Oh shit, ladies and gentlemen, how you doing out there? This is Intergalactic Interviews, and this is episode 135. How you doing, folks? Are you having a good week? Are you enjoying your lives? I personally am enjoying my life. I think things are pretty rad, but you know what? That might be a complete lie. Maybe things are terrible. Maybe this is just the fabrication that I put up every week. But enough about me. Let's fucking put this all together and have ourselves a good time. No, reality is things are pretty rad right now, but I don't want to gloat. I don't want to make other people feel like they're not doing well. So how about that first part was for them, and then the rest is for you. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, how you doing out there? You know what? I'd be remiss right now if I didn't let you know about an amazing opportunity you can take advantage of if you're at home near a computer. What? You have a computer in your pocket, most likely a phone. Why don't you go ahead and browse over to floathouse.ca. What's over there? Floathouse.ca is the premier isolation tank experience in the Lower Mainland and now in Western Canada. We're expanding, folks. We're all over the place. And when I say we, I mean them, because it's not me, but they're awesome to us, so why not? Let's give them a little bit of background, though. Some of you out there are probably wondering, what's an isolation tank? Well, it's simply a tank that allows you to unlock the mysteries of your mind. It's beautiful. It actually can just be very simple and just relaxing. It doesn't have to be such an epic Homer's Odyssey of, like, you know, mammoth mega proportions. It can be very relaxing. In fact, it's probably the most tranquil thing you can do with your time. It's like a 45-minute float if you just want to start fresh and like a little easier way into it. Or you can do 90 minutes. Or you can do mega, like
3 hours.
3 hours. My first float was 3 hours, and it changed my life. Asterix.
How long did that feel when you did the 3 hours?
The asterisk at the end of it. I felt great. I felt like I actually worked a lot of stuff that I had just kind of kept in my head for a long time, and I walked out feeling pretty clean, pretty good in a lot of ways.
I feel like floats are good for you. I feel like
for me.
Yeah, I feel like you should do them more even.
Probably, yeah.
I feel like this podcast would be easier if we did more floats.
Yeah, I wouldn't have to start the show by being like, maybe it's a fabrication of your life and you think you're so happy. You know? But anyway, floathouse.ca, that's where you want to go check it out. The things I like about it the most are you get your own private tank, obviously. You get your own house coat, your own slippers. The staff is super knowledgeable. They can take care of you. There's lots of resources online. If you don't know what I'm talking about, Google isolation tanks. But first, go to floathouse.ca and use our podcast promo code IIPodcast. That's I Podcast, and that gets you 20% off your next float. What? That's a sick deal. Let me tell you, this is the best in the Lower Mainland, and I tell you this with no word of a lie. The aquatic nature that it takes to run one of these facilities, the soundproofing, the vibes. Like, how relaxed do you feel right now, guest across from me, unnamed, as I am about to announce you properly?
I'm very relaxed just by being in this building.
Thank you very much. That's what I want to say. Barez Mardukhi, everyone. I'll do it properly in a second here. But, ladies and gentlemen, again, go to floathouse.ca, use our podcast promo code IIPodcast, and get 20% off your next float. Oh, shit, ladies and gentlemen. Across from here now is a good friend of mine. We've been friends for many years now.
Eight?
Yes. 8 years.
8 years.
Nice. In Vancouver is basically a lifetime.
It is.
Most people will move on. There's a nice little tidbit for you out there. People that live on the West Coast, your friendships will wither and die within 12 months. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, here we go.
Positivity.
Keeping it real.
Yeah. We met each other a while back. We've been friends ever since. Ladies and gentlemen, please put it together. Put it together for him.
Get your shit together.
Round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, for a good friend, digital artist, and just all around good guy, ladies and gentlemen. Barez Mardukhi.
Thank you.
Did I do that properly?
I like it better this
More phlegm?
More phlegm.
So
Just a little bit more phlegm.
The answer is
yes.
no.
Yeah.
You gave it more like a Spanish sound, which is kind of cool. Yeah, it was like a Ricardo Montalban kind of thing going on there. And I'm like, yeah, just stick with it.
Excellent reference as we jump into the Star Trek right away.
How do you spell the end of it?
Oh, it's Mardukhi.
H-I.
So it's the
KH. The K-H-I, yeah. But so how do you pronounce it?
Technically, if I'm hanging out with family members, then it'd be like Mardukhi.
Oh, okay.
So it's like subtler.
See, that was very.
It almost sounds like a U is in there.
Good.
Kind of, yeah.
Like Mardukhi as opposed to like
a.
Yeah.
Mardukhi. I don't even know if I'm doing it
Barez
properly.
Mardukhi.
Yeah, and then I don't think I'm pronouncing my first name properly either. But
What? Really?
I was born in Calgary, so I'm adjusting.
Your whole life?
Yeah.
How do you think you're supposed to pronounce it?
Barez.
Barez?
Barez.
Barez.
Yeah.
that feels like you probably have to be correcting people a lot of the time.
I feel like it's one of those things where people are like, I'll get the pursuit. It's like, no, just say.
Did you have like, was that difficult in school?
Oh, very much so. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
what was the most common shitty pronunciation?
Oh my God. Okay. So the best example of that would probably be I get Barez a lot.
Barez, yeah.
So
like a barracks.
Barracks, or more like, so that was like barracks. The default barracks. Yeah. No, I'm going to teach you a nickname I had. I'm going to admit to this on air.
Okay.
And people are going to, I don't care. I'm over it now. Thick skin, you know, it just happens.
He says
Look at
that.
this guy.
Yeah, sensitive, yeah.
He's taking on the
Set
internet.
myself. I know, yeah. Bring it up.
I dare you to hurt me.
Yeah. Come on. It's okay. I've been through it all. So a lot of my teachers used to say, oh, is Barez here? Barez? And some kids are like, oh, it sounds like bare ass. So for a few years.
That's the easy one.
Yeah, bare ass.
Yeah, did they trip over the low-hanging fruit that was?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Pretty much it came from there. But I learned how to use that, no pun intended with the butt, but I learned how to use that.
Now it is.
Did you trip over that one? That was
I totally tripped over that. But you can eventually, damn it, I've surfaced it.
That's okay. You got it.
I've learned it. I found you could use it to get people back. So I remember this tall, lanky guy used to pick on me back in high school.
All right, my ears are burning. Go
Oh,
ahead.
okay.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
No, he was very tall,
Not
very
that lanky.
Yeah.
And he was trying to make fun of me to impress some girls in gym class.
All right. Common
classic move.
dick move.
Common
Yeah.
broy thing.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, well, at least I have an ass, Gumby. And then the girls laughed at him. He never talked to me again.
Oh,
Life was
shit.
good.
Yeah.
I was like, whoa.
Yeah, he later
Good
hung
deflection.
himself.
He kind of hung himself.
He hung
yeah.
himself.
Yeah.
Bare-assed, which was the fucking irony to that.
That he did.
Yeah. How you doing, my friend?
I'm doing amazing. How are you doing?
I'm doing really well. I'm glad. Every time we seem to run into each other, I'm always like, man, come do the show sometime.
Yeah.
I'd love to have you come guest, and I'm glad we actually worked this out.
Yeah, me too.
When you walked in today, as we were liquoring up.
Yes. Exactly.
I don't know. I was like, what's an adjective?
It's like an Esso station.
Yeah.
Yeah,
For
pretty much.
your vices.
In
Got
an
our energy
alley
for the show.
Yeah.
Set.
It didn't sound very classy, whatever it was. But Barez walks in with this envelope. And he says, "This is the winner of Best Picture." And I said, "Okay, let's see who." Does it say Moonlight?
Spoiler.
Just,
So
but
it's a gift you haven't seen
it's
yet.
a gift I haven't seen
Legitimately
yet. So
haven't
this is
seen
it.
it.
So
This is
I'm
legit
So I'm
reaction.
gonna open it up. It says Jayme on it. So I'm gonna open this up. This is for me.
Yes, it is.
I hope it's a bill.
I know. Be like, and my
P.S.
time is worth this much. So, yeah.
an invoice. Yeah, the greatest thing ever. Look at this. Oh God! Look at here. Let's get it. Look at this. Look at this. Right now.
I remember back in the days, that was like your thing.
That's right. That's
still a thing.
That's a family motto, basically.
Yeah.
That is awesome. Look at that. Right now. Look at that. That looks pretty good. Huh? Look at that.
Pretty accurate.
That's pretty accurate. That's a sharp-looking fella.
like that.
I think that.
I
I like
like
that.
That he is.
I appreciate this. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I'm gonna put this in a position of prominence. In
Can
my
we
home.
somehow, like, weird question? Can we
Sure.
somehow prop it up
For the
on
rest
the
of the-
no on the mic, like, permanently for the rest of the show?
if I could do
Just-
it.
Yeah. Because
that
as long
one.
as you don't move it,
Okay, if it stays there.
yeah. Let's just cruise with that for like
Does
as
that-
long as that lasts.
All right. If it falls down,
Then it's gone.
Then it's happened.
But for now, it's there.
that's pretty awesome.
Cool. That totally works.
Well, this is amazing. Thank you for doing that.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, this is excellent. How long did it take you to bang this one out?
I did it at lunchtime. So
Is that a napkin?
yeah, exactly. Is there mustard on it? No, it's fine.
It says Joey's on it. What the-
Exactly.
Yeah.
Great napkins at
That's
Joey's.
Yeah.
hilarious. That's pretty
Recyclable.
awesome. Unbeknownst to the audience, actually, this is not the first time you've drawn me. Actually,
That is true. Actually.
for my, dude, I want to say like my 27th birthday. My fiance right now, Liz, she commissioned you to do like a family portrait for. We had like Alexander the Great and Liz and myself, and I guess all Liz said to Barez was, yeah, like we have this cat. He's like pretty fat. He's like 26 pounds. So maybe if you could just put him in there. So Barez, I'll put the photo up here, right now. But as you can see here, the principal point of this photo is just Alexander the Great, which is the best. I love that you did it like that. And I've always complimented
That's
your
a cat,
style.
by the way, if anyone else didn't know.
What's that?
Your cat is
Oh
named
yeah,
Alexander.
yeah. I'm like, that's a cat, by the way.
Right. Yeah. For the record.
To scale. But,
Yeah.
I've always complimented your art style, and I think I said this to you before. So I hope you don't take this bad, because this is totally, I'm complimenting you. But
Thick skin.
yeah, yeah. This guy's taking on the internet, folks.
Yeah, exactly.
The style I like, the way you do it is very reminiscent of a favorite show I watched back in the day called Undergrads.
Oh, yeah.
Undergrads is like such a good fucking show, and I like the style of that. And that particular photo that we just had on the screen there was very like it's beautiful. Like I've always wanted that. I always
okay.
So when that was gifted to me, I was like, oh, this is like exactly what I wanted. Just like this. This is exactly what I wanted. Like, look at this. Amazing. That's so good.
Yeah.
I got to get you to sign. Did you sign? Oh,
I did, yes.
Recorder. Oh, it's part of
It's subtle, but
yeah.
you'll know it's mine, and it's an original. So if you lose that,
It's
I took a
101.
photo of it, but if you lose it, then
It's gone
that's
forever.
It's gone forever.
It's one of one.
It's one of one.
It's one of one.
It's worth probably like a house in
I
Vancouver.
feel like I'm gonna blow this down with my ferocious.
But
attack.
that's okay if it happens.
Put it like this here.
I documented it digitally, so there's
Digitally.
backup.
I'm gonna put it
That's
here.
not
I'm gonna put it here for inspiration.
Oh
right
my.
now.
Oh, okay.
I'm pretty impressed with this. Thank you for doing this.
Thank you.
So how long have you been in art? Like when was that, like an early adoption?
Probably like since I was 2 years old. But I know, well, with like crayons and the house with like the swirly cloud and cats. We did lots of cats. So yes.
How come all little kids draw people as like round circles with legs coming out of the circles? Like there's no.
Have you met people?
No, but
I think
like,
it's self-evident.
That's
I've seen some people like that.
Yeah. That's definitely some people. The idea though that like it's weird, like even cross-cultural, like the little kids will always draw like just the circle and then the legs coming out of the like just the stick legs coming out of the circle.
torso, yeah.
Yeah, do you know what I mean?
It's kind of like I'll still draw that way now. I fleshed it out.
Do you what?
Yeah.
There's no ways. Did this start off like that?
Pretty much. I mean, like you do a circle for the head, and then you do like one for the ribs, and then the pelvis.
I don't know.
And then the joints, you do like a stick, and then you add cylinders onto the sticks, and that's what distinguishes you from the kids.
This is okay.
But it's not
I
like
also
life
studied
drawing,
anatomy.
right? Because life drawing's different.
That is true, yeah. So
Yeah,
that's more
yeah.
about gesture and then creating the form from the gesture.
Yeah.
Can I point out something here about this drawing I like?
Oh, the one you refused to put on your microphone again?
No, just right here. I'll put it right here. But I just want to point out this.
Can you leave it there?
I'm trying to get this on the camera here, but it's framed up. But something I want to point out about this is amazing, is do you know, this just happened actually earlier. We were at the bar. The bartender was trying to describe C-Mart to me. And so when someone describes someone you're familiar with to you, but they're not familiar,
Right.
what they describe them as is always so interesting to me, because like they owe nothing to them, you know what I mean, socially. So the guy was like, he's like, he looks at me, he's trying to judge how good of friends I am with you, I guess. And so he's like,
He's that piece of shit guy.
He's like, the guy, he's
Shifty.
shorter, shifty, blonde. I was like, oh, C-Mart, like right away, like that. So by the same approximation, I'd say that this is interesting, because this is like someone's rendition of you, like I
Caricature
like,
a bit.
yeah, like that's what I like. Yeah, that's good. Right now.
Well, that's the thing I was thinking about. Was like, what reminds me of Jayme? And I remember that voice all the time. And I was like, right now. And that was like the thing. And like, I think we practiced it for a while. Even it was just that was your tag.
There's a little bit. There's photos of us way back, actually
yes.
encountering an entire fake fight in photos.
I was thinking about that.
Remember that? Yeah.
Yes.
That was close to a decade ago. It was a fucking long time ago.
That was when we had the staff parties at work, where I think there was probably equal amounts of alcohol as there were for people.
It was a different world back then.
Different
What work
world
was
back
that?
then. What was that?
What work was that?
That was way back, ancient history, hieroglyphics. I don't even know if we can talk about it.
Yeah, I don't know either,
I don't know if
but
we can talk about it.
it's a funny place.
It was a good place.
It's a funny
It was.
place. Was it a clown shop?
At times? No.
Well, where?
Listen to
What is
21
this?
questions over
okay,
here.
well,
Yeah.
we're talking about most vulnerable. You can't say where you're working.
No,
Were you working for a drug dealer?
No, the
Again?
reason I
Again?
don't want to. I'm gonna throw a fucking brick at you. No.
It was a good place to work. It was fun.
It was a great place. I'd still work there right now if they didn't completely downsize my department. But
You also can't name them, apparently.
I can't name them only because the implications may or may not be other people we know that still work there. So
Oh,
I don't,
yeah.
I don't want to.
That's kind of the one
Yeah,
thing,
so
too.
smarten up, C-Mart, trying to fucking
Oh
dox
my
me on my
God.
own show, you fucking prick. Jesus.
What was the line of work?
I like how we're
Oh
trying to,
my
like, dodge
lord! You're not helping your.
We sold
your
the
case.
product.
Just office. General office work.
Office.
General
Okay.
office work.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Administrative.
But no, it was a cool place.
Don't try and subcategorize
Yeah.
it with you.
Okay, I'm talking shit about your faux job here.
No, it was real. It was a cool place. So one thing I have to say that was awesome about the place is whoever did HR, every time they hired people, it was amazing.
They did a really
Met
good job.
So many people that even if we're not working there, we're still like really good friends, and I think that's
Good.
indicative
That's good.
of like
Yeah.
They know like a
environment.
good crew to
Yeah.
like add to.
But the best part is people weren't carbon copies of each other. Everybody was very distinctive, which I really
It
liked.
was a very character-driven workplace.
Yeah,
it
absolutely.
definitely felt like everyone had their own little thing going on. Like sometimes you, maybe since then, sometimes you enter into a workplace and it's like this existing culture where it's very closed, or there's really no room for development. It's growth.
Yes.
It's either you come in white hot and you're able to flesh out a role for yourself right away,
Yeah.
or you immediately stagnate and you'll never advance. It's very fucking awful.
For sure.
But yeah, that workplace, actually, I've generated more friendships from that workplace than anywhere I've ever worked, ever.
Yeah.
Ever.
I think I'm in the same boat as well.
Like, I met my fiance there, so fuck it.
That's right. Yeah.
Oh,
That says
okay.
something there too.
So I think that, like, it's got to count for something.
Yeah.
A little bit. Let me ask you this, though.
Yes.
When I met you, I think one of our first conversations was we were talking about art, probably, and like video and music and stuff, and then you told me. Actually, no. Here's the thing. You didn't tell me. I looked into some of the things we were talking about because I think you mentioned you worked on it, and because you're a very humble guy, you would never tell me anything like that.
Oh.
But you were like something. You mentioned working on a kids film or something like that.
Oh, yes.
And so I was like, oh, but that's all you said. You
Right.
didn't say the title. You didn't say anything. So I think I looked you up within the next 48 hours, and I was like, okay, what's going on? What kids show? And I'm thinking like, what the fuck could this be? And it was like, was it Air Bud or MVP?
No, it was so Airbud had these puppies that could talk.
Okay.
So it was
Obviously.
yeah, they talked. So he had, I think, 5 of them, and they all had distinctive Bud in their name. So there was like Butterball, and he was like
Oh,
the one
God.
that ate a lot. And then there was, I think there was like a hip hop type dog, and then there
What was his name? Let's develop it right now.
I don't
What could it
remember.
have been?
What couldn't it have been?
I think it was like
Bud A.
B.
Yeah, it's got to be weed related, right?
No, because it was still towards kids.
I know, but okay.
but like maybe like a subtle way. Or something.
yeah.
Like Herb. I don't know.
Butter Kush.
Butter
Fuck, I
Kush.
don't
No,
know.
it had a hyphen in the name. It was
Butter?
like,
Yeah,
oh, maybe it was
Bud-
like T-Bone or something like
T-Bone.
that. Yeah,
Gangsters. Fuck yo.
yeah. Then there was a female
Good
one that
name.
had a bow on her head. I forgot what her name
Of course,
was.
because how else can we
Bud
determine
Bo?
if they're female?
That's
Bo
right.
Bud?
Bo Bud?
Bo Bud?
Yeah, it's
No,
Bo.
that's not. No.
Look at this.
Butterina? I don't know.
Yes, and.
Ribud?
Ray Bud. And then there was, I don't
A
even remember.
plethora of terrible
Yeah.
dog names.
Yeah, and I helped make some of
Slash
them talk,
puns.
and I totally forgot about them.
And,
but yeah.
Oh, okay.
So,
How do they do that process?
oh well. So what they do is they.
Because like the dog doesn't respond when you want them to do stuff, right?
Oh
What?
no, it's all
So-
CG'd over top. So they'll
Okay.
just you'll see all these like raw footage of these dogs, and they'll be like in front of a plate of
Okay.
food, and then they're just kind of staring, and then they would just CG or computer animate mouth over top, and
You just broke the hearts of like millions of
yeah,
nieces
sorry
and nephews
for
out there.
everyone out there. It's fake.
It's fake.
So, yeah,
It's not real. Dogs can't talk. Guess what?
I always
They
thought
can't.
Homeward Bound did it well. They just didn't even try. Not the
Yeah.
first Homeward Bound, which I learned killed a bunch of the dogs.
Really?
Or I
Sorry,
heard
hold
about
on.
that.
Yeah, I wasn't aware of this.
Cam on you. I want to see your reaction as you talk about this.
Yeah.
Sorry, it sounded like you said Homeward Bound killed a bunch of
Apparently, and I haven't verified this yet. It's on my list. I have a list of things to verify. Obviously. Was the
This is already
original
shady.
original Homeward Bound, not the one that we grew up with,
What
but
is-
like a
what are you talking about?
1970s Homeward Bound.
Oh,
Because
okay.
it's a
What the
remake.
fuck?
I did not know that. That is.
Yeah, I forgot that.
I did not
And
know
we
it was a remake. It was
and
a remake?
I think it's like Milo and Otis, where there was no.
Milo Notice. Yeah.
Milo
But there's
and
no. When they made those movies,
Right.
whatever agencies were in place that made sure that you didn't
Mm-hmm.
cruelly treat animals,
Yeah.
they did not exist.
Ooh.
And so if they lost one, it was like, well, we got another one. They look kind of like, I don't know a golden retriever from another golden retriever. Not really.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is that the dogs portrayed in that film are not the same one scene to scene?
As far as I know, in Homeward Bound, the original Homeward Bound. Could be the case, allegedly.
Allegedly.
Anyway, just saying.
Well, that was a dark turn to this situation. You know what though? How about?
I'm just saying that I like the original the remade Homeward Bound, the one we know, where when they spoke, they didn't even do it. It was like a mind.
Yeah.
It was like they were like somehow telepathically linked.
Exactly.
Okay.
I thought that was kind of cool.
Well, you know what's interesting is probably the tech didn't exist. Probably to do that exact.
It would have been way more expensive.
Probably
at
not.
least. Yeah.
They probably would have actually done it animatronic, and it would have been
With
like
puppets.
Yeah.
it would have looked
Because
like
didn't they do that for Babe? Or I think it was a mix of.
it would have looked like
Yeah, Babe would have been a similar era movie.
Yeah, that's right.
The fucking stupid fucking song he sings.
I do like
That'll
Babe
do,
though.
pig.
You know what? Yeah,
I like
exactly. Yeah. You know it was another dark like dog film, like a non-speaking role dog film. Was
Scruff McGruff, Chicago,
Scruff
Illinois,
McGruff.
60652.
Jesus Christ, what a reference!
I don't even know it. I feel bad.
Yeah. Your eyebrows will never go down from how highbrow that one was. It was fucking just terrible choice. I'll tell you what though. No, have you ever heard of a film called Where the Red Fern Grows?
No, I've not.
So this movie was movie day in grade 6 or something. Our teacher wheeled it out on the old
projector,
the VCR.
Yeah,
they wheel it out.
Yes, I remember those.
And
days.
they show this film. So first of all, right away I knew it was a red flag because it was like
it had red in the name.
Well, yeah, but it starts off with first of all it had an overture.
Oh.
So like when a film has an overture, it immediately dates it to it. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it does, exactly. So like it starts off, but not only does it have an overture, but the overture like is deteriorated on the tape. So it's like
yeah.
like just really muted. And so I was like, okay, like how many times has this teacher watched this? And what is the lesson they're gonna impart on us?
For the next 2 hours and 40 minutes of your life,
dude, it's a 2-tape film.
Whoa.
Right? And then not only that,
Titanic level.
Like spoiler alert, but it came out like 45 fucking years ago or something. But this film is like the darkest fucking film ever. The guy ends up, it's like imagine Old Yeller, but like more poor.
Okay.
It's like the saddest like ending, and it ends with like the guy has to shoot his own dogs and bury them next to each other. And it's awful. It's the fucking worst film.
So spoiler. That's rude.
On a happier note, another non-speaking dog role. That thing I liked. How about Beethoven?
Oh god.
Yeah, Beethoven's
I think I
fantastic.
saw that on a plane as a kid, way back when.
Beethoven was
Although
really good.
Beethoven ends pretty darkly as well.
The
How
first
does it
one?
end? I kind of forgot.
Yeah, wait, enlighten us.
Well, when they spoiler, when they once they've gotten,
I think it's
they
okay.
conquer the weird like vet scientist motherfucker,
Right.
And the dog somehow there's a whole barrage of needles that pierce him in the chest, and
I
he
remember
dies.
Oh, I thought he just
Hold
got
on.
stunned.
No,
Wait a
he
minute.
is
Beethoven
dead.
dies?
No,
Wait,
not Beethoven.
no. The bad guy in Beethoven
vet.
is
yeah.
killed. Like it's like a
They're like
Who Framed Roger Rabbit death. You know what I mean? Where it's like
that was-
it's so
that used to,
savage. But this one,
torment me.
it's like a torrent of needles. He's like a pincushion of chemical needles that and he's killed instantly.
Oh.
So that is okay. First of all,
I mean, the
Needles-
dogs lived. Good on the dogs.
probably like fentanyl needles. Just fucking what else would they use?
I
it
forget
with?
was
why
early
they were.
90s, so
I
maybe it
forget
was
why
like-
they were killing them in the first place.
I don't
Like
think it
the
had to make
dogs.
sense, right? Because it's a kid's movie.
I think
Someone's
the
just like,
answer is-
he's evil.
Yeah,
Ha ha.
it's
All I
Disney.
know is I love
Yeah,
Saint
exactly.
Bernard though. Saint Bernards are great.
They are pretty cool.
The logical villains are pretty fucking like. It's a pretty dumb plot device that'll be abandoned. Like people will look back on the last couple decades and be like, "Why is he evil? I don't know. He had a mustache." Like,
Yeah,
just some
exactly.
shitty thing like that. It's like
First of all, that movie was over 20 years ago. I promise.
was
you.
it 25 years ago?
I feel like
Yeah.
early 90s. It's
gotta be.
It's got to be, yeah.
I think it came out in 19. We have the internet, guys. We can just look this up in like
Guys,
5
when
seconds.
you hear guys,
Guys.
look out the internet.
Guys.
But I'm thinking about that too. So, like, I wonder if there's any kids' movies that were actually just good all around that you could watch as an adult to be like, it's still good. Like, it's obviously geared towards a younger audience.
Space
Like,
Jam.
Space Jam.
I was
Or
never
as
fond
we
of that
know-
R. Kelly song. And then,
I
like,
believe I can fly.
yeah.
Dude, Space Jam was really well done, but the soundtrack has legs, man. It can fucking
Yeah, it's
it lives to this day.
So,
This
but
is
I
pretty-
actually thinking about this, taking this further was I watched Beauty and the Beast recently.
the
The new
animated
one?
one or
No,
the
the new
one?
one.
Okay.
New one, okay.
And
I watched it
was,
opening weekend. It was fucking
Oh,
good.
nice.
Yeah.
It was fine.
It was really well done.
But
Yeah.
what I thought was that it was wholly unnecessary.
Oh yeah.
I like
Totally.
how he walked us in with a bitch slap of a he's like, yeah, it was good, but it was unnecessary. I'm
Well,
like,
what I
okay,
mean is that like
I'm gonna allow this. Let's see where he goes with this.
Beauty and the Beast, I swear to, is like 80 minutes long, maybe 90,
Is it?
barely. It's short.
All
Yeah.
the main points.
This movie
right? Yeah.
is 2 hours and 10 minutes, and it did nothing better. It was mostly animated anyway. Of course, if you're going to represent the kind of characters
like
represented.
CGI. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's like mostly animated. And I just thought, why? Like, what's the purpose of having this exist beyond just like another movie? Like, they could have re-released Beauty and the Beast and probably done
Actually,
almost
I got-
like pretty close to as good.
I got 1.3 billion reasons, son, why they fucking released that film. There's like, first of all, there's a thing where like if you go into a Disney store right now, okay, the way that they market their current push, like whatever they're pushing, like the Moana stuff that
Star
we just
Wars.
went through, Star Wars now,
Yeah,
like
Marvel.
Marvel, the fact that they have all these little outlets they can push.
Little outlets.
well,
Largest franchises on the
ever.
planet
Yeah.
Earth. Okay. Oh, just
Yeah.
these little known
Yeah.
gems.
These really niche fucking,
yeah.
you know, no one knows them.
Right.
But like the idea that like you can walk through a store and the way that they market it, like the fact that they can do real live action versions of their films now, and they're basically remilking the cow, and they can do it
Yes.
so well and so efficiently. Like people don't remember that when Beauty and the Beast came out in the early '90s, it was like heralded in a Broadway fashion. Like it was so. Like the songs were so well done, and like
They
Angela
were well done.
Lansbury, like right, like the amount of star power involved is not like nowadays where like when I don't know, you have like a movie like Inside Out comes out and there's like 20 fucking major like A-list people involved in it. It was like a pretty large accomplishment. So it made money and was critically acclaimed. And so Disney's like, oh, what else can we do? So like right now they're remaking Aladdin. Like there's gonna be
Yeah.
like Brez,
And Lion
you should
King.
read for that. Brez.
But
I don't think I'm white enough for Aladdin.
Okay, but to bring it back though, the songs aren't as good. Like the redone songs are well done. They were.
Yeah, they're really well
In fact,
done.
my favorite song on Beauty and the Beast was the one where they want to kill the beast.
Kill that beast.
When like that
Oh,
was the
yeah.
most authentic one. That was the one that felt the most cartoony because the movie at that point was like super
Yeah,
absurd.
it felt like it felt very Les Miserables, not just because of the French
Yeah.
stuff, but because
Yeah.
like
But some of the
like can you hear the people sing? Right? Like that kind of like vibe, you know. Like,
but like with but all the added songs, I thought were like really undersold. Like there was nothing memorable about any of the added songs.
I disagree. I think Josh Gad did a pretty good job doing the Gaston song, and also they had that like
But the Gaston, no.
homoerotic thing that would like had him temporarily.
But that's a
banned from
redo
Singapore.
though. What I'm talking about the new songs.
Wait, hold on. What new song?
So like,
What? There's a new song? I don't remember.
There was
any
like
song.
2 or 3 songs that were new.
I'm gonna need the names of these songs, Chris
Oh,
Martin.
my Lord.
Yeah.
C-Mart, you can't just be throwing out wild allegations like this.
Well,
Okay, he's gonna look it
as
up,
you were.
and I'm gonna
Right.
talk trash about his point, and then I'll be proven wrong. This is how this always works.
Fair enough.
How dare you say that about like? Actually, okay. So on the subject of Josh Gad, just while we're waiting for this to look up, Josh Gad.
Who is that?
He's the guy who, first of all, he's most notable for playing the snowman.
Olaf. in
Olaf
Frozen.
Frozen. That's right. He does the
nice.
voice of that. But he plays LeBeau, Gaston's like sidekick. He plays that
LeFou?
guy.
Oh.
LeFou? LeBeau, yeah.
LeFou, yeah.
LeFou.
Right. Yes.
Right,
okay,
not
I
LeBeau, not LeBeau the dog, Beau Bud, as we previously talked about in our Airbud segment. Jeez,
Let's never forget that.
hilarious. But the LeFou, he played that really well. But that guy is box office poison if he's not involved in like a Disney franchise. That is a fucking fact. I don't know
Really?
what. Like, did you see that he did that one film called like The Ringer or something?
Ringer.
They try to push him as a leading guy, like they
What's
try to
that?
make him like
I
a
think I've
Jonah
seen that
Hill
one.
kind of guy.
Oh,
It
yeah.
fucking bombed.
Really?
Bombed to the fucking earth like napalm.
Okay.
awful. It was. I think
Most bombs fall to the earth eventually.
I think it grossed negative dollars. I think they lost mega money. on
People
that.
like ask for their money back after
Yeah.
they saw it. They're like, no.
But I don't know. I don't know what the he, allegedly. This is a lot of allegedly, but he probably I don't know. He greased the right wheel because they keep calling him for like these major roles, and I'm trying to compliment him in all this by saying he did a great job in
Right.
Beauty and the Beast. But yeah, I don't know. You don't usually see people getting chances like that. Conversely,
Yeah.
I would say a guy like Charlie Hunnam, who in King Arthur, which I loved.
I actually haven't seen it.
You
but
haven't seen it?
Everyone I know who has seen it, they really liked
I
it.
loved it. It was like watching Snatch, like Robin Hood Snatch. I don't even know how
10th
else
century or
Yeah,
whatever.
it was
Yeah.
like fuck it because he's like, it's the Guy Ritchie quick camera cut style. Of like who told you that? I told him that. What do you mean? It's like
Don't
Johnny,
you know? Don't you know?
Yeah,
It's
Johnny
like-
Johnny Blood where on the corner that bad like
Right,
like it's very
yeah.
quick and it's smart and. It's epic and it's great. It's like so it's not just like for the fangirls of like Sons of Anarchy or some shit like that. It's like Charlie Hunnam does a really great job in it. But I'm one of these guys that like I don't listen to reviews. I don't watch that kind of review. I don't even check like Rotten Tomatoes or
Okay.
anything like
You
that.
just like to go all out.
I go watch and then I go back and watch. So this is
Yeah.
one of those ones where I came back really shocked because I'm like, wait a minute, how the fuck am I like did I get duped? Like what is going on here? Because like it had like 19%. Opening day. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, how can it have like on its premiere like 19%?
Yeah.
Pretty awful.
Well, it's very subjective too, because it's almost like music choice as well. People have their own preferences.
That's
and
true.
You could probably defend it to a science to like why a song is good. I think objectively you can
Yeah.
usually pick like why a song is horrible, but I think like to why one's good, that's very open.
Just while we're on wild theories, though,
Yes.
I would say that allegedly, I think Charlie Hunnam may or may not have banged a famous studio executive's wife or something like that because every film he does is pretty fucking good. Like Pacific Rim was pretty badass.
Oh, I remember, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
He even pulls out of the shit that is gonna suck. Like he pulled out of 50 Shades of Fuck or whatever.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah, and so like when he pulls out of that, and everyone's like, "How could you do that? It's gonna kill your career." Meanwhile,
No.
it's like the worst. So he does all the right things, and still he gets slammed in reviews. So I'm like, dude, this is the opposite. Whatever Josh Gad is doing,
Yeah.
the Charlie Hunnam needs to call him and be like, dude, what are you doing? Like, because you seem to fuck up a bit, and you still get Disney on the phone. So what's going on?
Yeah.
Like that's all I'm saying.
Well, I have a friend on Facebook that.
Did you find those songs?
Oh, you find him?
Yeah, so there are
Sorry.
three.
Oh, no, it's okay.
No,
Sorry,
it's
bro,
okay.
Sorry. I just
No,
want to
so
get closure to this for
Yes.
a real quick moment.
I don't have the names because I don't know the original soundtrack super well, but there are
Same, I know him.
there
pretty
are
well.
three
Barez knows him really well.
three
Oh,
new
yeah,
songs
obviously.
with Tim Rice.
Tim Rice.
Tim
I'm thinking
Rice.
Tim Curry.
Yeah,
Yeah, which would be hilarious.
that would have been great.
That would be dope.
Yeah, that would be really
Um,
good.
Yeah, I just don't. I'd have to list 19 songs, and you have to pick out.
Lay them out
Three.
right now, fast. Go.
Okay, so
Rapid fire. Here we go. 1, 2.
Jesus, Bell.
Yep.
Okay, how does a moment last forever?
Okay, faster than this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be our guest. That's obviously. So
Yes.
Days in the Sun. I don't think that's one.
Oh, that might be a new one.
Yeah.
Okay, Days in the Sun.
Evermore.
The
French
fuck?
countryside known for its.
Evermore, and then how does a moment last forever? That's Celine.
Oh, that's the outro title track song.
Yeah.
Oh.
Booyah, bitch.
I just feel like
Recently
they did
came
a
from-
decent job on. They did an excellent to decent to excellent job on the old songs,
Yeah.
but all the new ones were forgettable.
Are you gonna go watch
In
Aladdin?
every way.
Are you gonna go watch Aladdin?
Aladdin's one of the best there is.
That's
Well,
it.
like, are you gonna
And
watch
this
the new version?
Yeah, dude.
But
This started, by the way, asking like, why do they do it? Why do they do it? I think we found the exact reason why they're gonna do it. Because
Yeah,
he's like, I'm
but-
gonna watch it anyway.
no.
Well,
I
it's
didn't
almost like
say
you want
that.
to see like the new take on it, and I think that's what's kind of fascinates people too.
It does
like-
to a point.
Yes.
Once I with Beauty and the Beast, I realized that it's not necessary to have this exist because
course.
if the original's better, you just made nothing
Yeah.
Well,
essentially.
if it's derivative of the original work, then
which
it's not
they
very
are
good. That's
intentionally
not good.
they're intentionally derivative, right?
Intentionally?
Like Aladdin, the new Aladdin is not based on 1001 Nights or whatever. Like it's not
Right.
the new Aladdin is not having a hot take on the original story. It's
What
aping.
if Aladdin was a racist?
No, but
You're
it's
like,
aping.
shit,
It's
like something
aping
like
the
that, like-
Disney movie.
Yeah.
So it's derivative, knowledgeably, like on purpose.
I see what you're saying.
And I just-
Actually, So, sorry, continue.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say something to blow both your minds about Aladdin. Did you know that Aladdin originally is, and you can Google this, Chinese?
Oh, nice.
Is that true?
Yeah. He was from China.
That kind of makes more
Nice.
sense.
I actually don't know the exact
lamps?
origins.
Oh, yeah.
Oil lamps?
Maybe. No, I mean, like, where it took place was fine, but Aladdin himself was originally from China.
Oh,
So
what?
interesting.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Riff raff, street rat.
But yeah, I also, like, I remember I heard that in some trivia, and then I looked it up after. I'm like, that is blowing my mind.
Look at this guy.
So, yeah.
I learned recently that ketchup is Chinese.
That is. It was made with fish originally.
Yeah, it's just
and then
fish sauce.
Yeah, that's it, exactly.
Yeah,
And
they're tasty.
catsup is
same thing.
same thing as ketchup, y'all.
Thank you.
Don't know if
I
you
wonder
know.
where that origin of catsup came from, though.
I think
It's
probably
the original pronunciation
Yeah.
pronunciation
Oh.
of the Chinese. I cannot and I will not attempt it.
Yeah.
But it's similar to
Yeah.
catsup.
It probably has
Catsup.
it's something like dialect. Like you ever listen to when people say roof in the
Roof?
United States, it's not even it's like up on the rough. The rough. Rough. It's not roof, it's rough.
Diamond
rough.
in the rough. That was
Yeah.
the actual thing.
Do you know something Canadian as fuck that probably you guys don't even notice you do? All of us is fur instead of for. Holy fuck! Do I ever notice
Like a
it now?
twofer?
I noticed it so much. Like I did this recently. Did this phone script for this this corporate thing. Whatever. It doesn't matter. But I did this voiceover thing for this corporate gig, and while I was doing it, it needs to be very enunciated, and it's a global company mostly serving the U.S. So I was nailing these like one takes, but then found myself after like going back and being like, I don't know. Actually, I could do this a little bit better because like you don't even notice it.
Right.
But when you're saying like so like what do you do that for? Like how long are you know, like I'm trying to say this in a natural way that doesn't make sense right now, but the dialect of saying fur versus for is, it sounds like something
what do you
you'd
hear?
make fun of, like what are you doing around here fur?
Yeah.
Like that. No one
Do you
talks.
find yourself doing that?
I find if I don't pay attention, especially after a couple.
But you're from the east.
couple
But you're from the
jokes.
east.
Yeah,
Do you go like full
no.
hoser? Like, yeah, do your drywall for beer, eh?
If I'm in Kenora, do you drywall for beer? Jesus. If I'm in Kenora,
He's like, I would.
if I'm in the land of I was like, that's a good deal. I couldn't
I want
turn
to.
it down.
I want a twofer though.
Twofer, yeah. Twofer with that.
I'm doing the drywall up the new McDonald's there. Fucking Office Space.
Oh, God.
The if I'm in the land of progressive thought, Kenora, then
With Husky.
yeah, then I have a couple I have a couple Jacques Daniels under me. You know,
Jacques Daniel.
I slur it a little. I get a little loose. I'll be like, well, fucking come on, what are you talking about? Fucking like it's this nonsensical.
Like Don Cherry.
Dude,
That's more of like a barking.
Yeah.
first of all, the amount of you don't want it. First of all, what do we have it? Do we have it? Okay. First of all, a good Canadian kid there, boy. Oh, fire, here we go. Like that is everyone I grew up with.
Oh, really? Okay.
100%.
Is that your Is that your dad?
That is my father, 100%. My father is he's a very boisterous character, but he has
I'm not surprised.
He has a very tremendous way with words, and he a lot of his shtick, and that's exactly what it is. It's shtick is to be fake angry / aggressive all the time. So like he used to just be that way for real, and then like he
aggressive?
and then he just kind of learned to laugh a lot about it. But like he'd be like. I do it sometimes as C-Mart, like just even earlier in the show when he says like C-Mart will say something that's completely valid and like an excellent point or question.
Water is wet.
That's right. And I'll be like, hold her now. You don't just be coming in here talking water's wet. What about the dry people out there? How dare you? That kind of thing.
What about air?
That kind of thing. And it's like, I don't know how to explain it other than like it's basically like picking a fight where there isn't one.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
And then just like making you feel like you know what though, it's fine. No, you think whatever you have to think. It's fine. And he talks like that too. He's just like, hold her now. You don't want to just like it's like that. That's how my dad talks, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Well, I'm thinking like, so for example, my mom has an older brother and a younger sister, and they all grew up in Vancouver, but they all have drastically different accents from each other.
How so?
So, I mean, I guess it's a bias on my part, but my mom sounds like normal, but my aunt kind of sounds like she has a bit more of like almost like a hosiery way of speaking. So
I'm pretty triggered by the way you just said normal.
Oh, but normal, I know, yeah. Sorry,
microaggressions here.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
Settle down.
I know what the standard is.
I don't give a fuck. Jesus Christ. Please go ahead.
Yeah, so like my aunt would be like, "Oh, how's it going?" Like she's an A-sayer. She'd be like, "How's it going, A?"
Oh, really?
I'll show you some pictures.
Like
It's
hard?
a picture of water? Or like, no, picture with the camera.
Picture of water, eh?
And then my uncle kind of talks a bit more like a RCMP officer. So I'd be like, yeah, where are you off to? That's great.
Oh, with the
like
upwards
that kind of like
inflection.
Upward
speaking.
inflection.
Yeah.
Where it ends
That
in a
raising.
question.
Which
Yes,
is
exactly.
which is an offshoot of the Valley Girl.
It is.
West Coast Valley, like oh my god, and like everything
Yeah.
is upwards.
Question.
And a
Yeah.
question.
Are you
quite
sure
the
you want to
fry.
be doing that?
Yeah.
Even though that is a question, but you're like, can you not say it like
That's
that?
interesting though about the delivery of the cop though. It's just like yeah. So where are you going today?
Yeah.
Where are you? Like that's weird. Yeah, that is a weird inflection.
It is. It's just, I think it's just part of being like rural Canadian. And it's weird because sometimes I find myself almost being a bit of an accent snob when I hear like a really hosiery accent. I know like the conversation might be a bit limited. So it's like, oh, like when I hear like, oh, Jesus Christ Day, it's going to be like three things. It'll be hockey. It'll be how the manager's a dick. Or like other ex-wife is a bitch. And like, that's what it's going to be. It's not going to be like, oh, so I was talking about like, you know, history
Nice.
or whatever,
Nice.
right?
I always notice
That's
it with a car.
that's Barez Mardukhi, ladies and gentlemen. 778-442.
Prove me wrong.
Yeah.
That's all I can say.
Yeah.
Prove me wrong.
I always notice
Hilarious.
it with the word car.
Car.
That's the word I most like. I can't do it fully, but some people say car, and I'm like, I can tell you're from the Maritimes.
Yeah.
When you say car, I don't know, there's like an extra, there's
Yeah,
an
it's like
H
take
in
the
there.
car to the bar.
Yeah, and it's like,
It's fire.
and I can tell even when they speak, like they've been here a while. Like when I say here, like on the West Coast or whatever, where we have absolutely no interesting way of speaking.
Right.
Yeah.
Large, like obviously I know that
From
you
our
know,
part, but
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, but it's like I can hear it, and I always notice it. I'm like, oh, you're definitely from the East.
I'd actually want to put somebody from Queensland, Australia, in like a small town. We'll say like Dildo, Newfoundland, which is a
aggressive.
place.
Real town.
Yeah.
But just to see the
Noted town.
contrast, because Australians don't pronounce the R's at the end of words, whereas in
Oh,
Newfoundland
I
it's
see.
like they've stretched the R's.
Yeah,
So
they
just
love
the
that.
contrast might be interesting.
That would be
for-
very
Well, Newfoundland is its
watch a
own
documentary
weird.
on
That's a Werner Herzog.
Yeah, exactly.
Documentary.
Is it fire
Quality
or fire?
Yeah, he'd be like, I then entered the woods with the two men. Only one of them came
Just
out.
end this.
Yeah, just some crazy dark shit.
So dark.
Yeah. Sorry, what were you saying? C-Mart.
Oh, I just mean like
My future father-in-law is from the East Coast, like Halifax, and has been
Maritimes.
Him and his wife, Maritimes, in the Maritimes, have lived out here for like 30 years, and they are like very Halifax, like very like my father-in-law talks. This is basically him. He's like. Oh yeah, you know, talking about there, like everything's always like I don't know what that inflection is.
Is that
but
a Saavedra?
Da 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 da. Like that, like everything's
like
kind of
sing-songy.
very sing-songy.
Yeah.
very. Everything kind of sounds like it's just about to become a jig.
Yeah. Or like it is, and you're like, wait, did I miss
Yeah.
it? Or
I was
what
like,
happened?
yeah, I'm like, dude, I think I just got invited to a kitchen party. You know, like
Yeah. And people are very friendly there,
Yeah.
so it's like that probably
Someone breaks a
happened.
fiddle. No, 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 no. I was like, Jesus, okay, we're having a good time here. Let's go, Schlante,
Yeah.
you fucks. Yeah.
I find the West Coast has a little bit of difference, like for Canada in general. Like I know it's myself. I'm not fully have that Canadian thing, but I know that I say dumb shit in a weird way.
I think you actually, can I just comment on C-Mart for a second? C-Mart is very unique, I think, just all around. Like, but
That's
like
not
vocal delivery, I don't know anyone that talks like C-Mart. Because this is C-Mart, okay? Camera on me.
Okay.
This is C-Mart.
Here we
C-Mart,
go. Here
you can
we
tell C-Mart
go.
any fact that's legitimate or any lie. It doesn't matter. It's the same reaction. He'll just be like I guess, like
That's
it's always this like
I can see that.
kind of downplayed like perhaps like it's just like what I just love that's I love him for that, and also his delivery, as you've been listening to this episode, you probably noticed it's very syncopated in that he's like And then, there's a couple things like if I like, okay, so one of the things I was thinking about is like, it's very, like very syncopated in that regard.
The first part you came across as like a laid back Nixon. Well, sure. I'll suck it to you. I don't know.
That's exactly it. Yeah, a laid back Nixon, pre-Watergate Nixon.
Pre-Watergate.
He's like, I can get away with anything.
Yeah.
Hippie Nixon.
Speaking of getting away with
Hip
anything,
Nix.
Yes.
God damn, did I read today that they're going to be putting forward, I think I read this today, they're going to be putting forward impeachment shit, even though they don't have
No.
control of the House. They think
No.
they think enough Republicans are going to whip over. What do you think?
0.
This is the best reality show on TV right now.
It is.
You don't know what's going to happen, and the series finale could be the world finale. So, like,
Yeah.
you're just like, what's going to happen? It could fucking happen. But I don't know. Have you guys been watching the new season of House of Cards?
Oh, I finished it yesterday.
Just yesterday?
Yeah.
I have 2 episodes left, so I still got to rock through.
It's-
But
yeah.
there's a scene out there. If people are watching, I don't want to spoil it, but there's a lot
You're
of
about
presidential
to.
stuff out there. Like, you'd imagine when someone's a president, they have, like, access to so much information. And
You
like,
would hope.
Yeah.
the big black book, when they pull out like the every secret ever book, like that, like I don't know, like they obviously dramatized it like
Of
in a way
course.
that cinematically it'll play really well on camera. But like the idea that like there's going to be a tome at some point and you have to and you
First of
open it.
all, that's a Word file.
Tome.
Like they
Hold
wouldn't
on.
keep it in a book.
Wait, you don't think? No, that's how you keep it secret. There can't be digital
Oh.
copies of it. It has to be a paper manuscript, originally signed by one of the founding fathers. Founding fathers like, this is the alien that sucked my dick and gave me the power to found a nation. some crazy shit like that. You'll read it and be like, what? Jefferson was raped by a fucking what? This is like,
Jesus Christ.
yeah, it was
Where are
some
you
kind
going
of
with this?
karmic rape for all the slave rape he
No.
did. Yeah,
No.
this is gonna
No.
work out. It's gonna. Don't worry. This is gonna come from a good place. That's right. This is gonna be fine. Don't worry. This will definitely make the final edit. Don't worry about it. It's fine. But the idea that like there's this book that has everything in it, everything that like everyone's not supposed to know. The weight of that must be fucking insane.
That's
Like,
what the flat Earth has proved, right?
is that what they?
I
assume.
Shit, we haven't.
Don't.
I love flat Earth.
Don't.
I won't get into it.
Don't.
But
We've
No, I
that's
believe
where
it,
it's
but
that's
just
where
I
it's
don't
Nah, but
confirm
confirmed.
it.
we've-
I just love the conspiracy.
we've had.
Yeah.
That's where it's confirmed that it's flat.
We've had legit flat earther on the show in the last few months, and
Really?
the feedback we got from the show is nothing short of, I'm going to say, contentious, because I didn't agree with them wholeheartedly, and so because of that, I must be like a you spherical fuck, like you fat spherical fuck. I'm like, fat, Jesus. I'm like, the internet's making me self-conscious. Like I'm very small-minded, I guess. And
I'm
Dude,
curious
that
though,
is-
like has he ever like traveled?
yeah, he's
across?
actually
He's
here's
a
the thing,
pilot.
He's actually a brilliant dude. Yeah, and he's a pilot. Like he's a brilliant dude.
He's a pilot because you can kind of see the curvature of the Earth.
I think so, right?
from-
His theory,
Okay.
I don't do well enough. And then you know what? I've failed
It's
at
too
trying
deep.
to.
It's
yeah.
like
Deep?
it's
Yeah.
endless.
It's better to
endless.
just refer you to the episode. If
Okay,
you guys,
I'll
if
do
you guys
that,
are
yeah.
interested at all, I'd recommend just looking. I don't remember the number, but his name is Kyle McDonald, not related to me.
Okay.
And but he's a good guy. He's a smart, brilliant dude. He's do you remember the red paperclip guy? Guy traded a paperclip all the way up to a house.
Oh yeah.
That's him.
Oh okay.
Yeah, Kyle. I've known Kyle for a few years now, and
He's a cool guy.
he's a cool guy. He's a really cool guy. So to see him like slowly start posting stuff about this, I was like, okay, he's known for his social experiments. So I was like, this has got to be one. So I think every like 15 minutes I was peppering him with like, is this a social experiment? Like, are you fucking with me? And he's like, I swear to God, I'm not. I'm raising my kid like this. I'm like, okay, like if this ends up being, then I have full on like, hey, I called it, you motherfuckers. It's on video. I called it several years ahead of time, but
The one thing I always
don't know.
found kind of neat about was, for example, if the Earth is flat, then why are other objects round, and why is the Earth special that it's
That's
flat?
not true though.
That's not
so
true, yeah.
according to them, they're
Oh.
not round at all. They're like
to them.
They're just discs that always
Yeah.
face
Well,
us.
they're just like gas.
Have to be careful when
things.
when we inquire immediately, like we're inquiring like oh, that's not true. It sounds like we are flat earthers.
Oh, yeah, I know,
we're
no,
actually
I-
just
no, I-
parroting what the beliefs.
Well, no,
they
we're
have
just
are,
being
Yeah.
because
Yeah, of
it
course.
should be because your question is super valid.
It's true.
It's just that what I learned was that any question is met with not an equal but an opposite absurdist claim.
Yeah.
I see. What
And
you
so
mean,
it's like,
yeah.
oh, well, how did they get photos? Oh, well, the all of NASA's fake, and you're like,
Right.
okay.
Yeah.
So everything you're like, okay. So if we assume NASA's fake, and if we assume that the moon is a gas ball, And if we assume that the sun is super like you just have to go down these paths,
Yeah.
and you're like, okay, how does gravity? Like, okay, well, it's moving up at this rate.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, so
Like, if you
if
buy
we
in-
assume, like, you just have to keep
Yeah.
assuming because otherwise, if you say like, hey, this is what about this? They're like, well, this is not true because this. You're like, okay, sure.
It seemed
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
it
I
did
see what
seem
you
like
mean.
every time he'd say something that would make us go like, oh, okay, I've never thought about that. There would definitely be this like tagged on almost omnibus kind of bill where he'd be like, he's like, gravity, we may not have all the facts on that. And I'm like, okay, I can understand, like, because science is an organic thing, sure, why not?
Yeah.
And
Gravity's
it's
pretty
fluid,
crazy.
right? Like,
Yeah.
we want to take the.
I wouldn't be
correct theory.
surprised if we didn't know all there is to know about gravity.
Right, and
Same,
then
yeah.
right,
Fully admit that.
and then
Yeah.
he's like, yeah, but that's because the Challenger space disaster didn't happen.
Yeah.
And you're just like, hold on, what the fuck? Wait, no, like, can I just have some of this? He's like, no, it's one sandwich. You have to take a big bite.
the thing,
Yeah.
You have to have this. And I was like, okay,
Anyway,
so
I'd like to have him back though,
I'd love to have him back on because
because I have a little bit more. I'd like to prepare, not a rebuttal in terms
he
of.
was just a good guest. Like,
yeah.
he just-
Not,
and-
but I would just like to have
Yeah.
a better, more informed conversation from my part,
Right.
just because I felt like I was coming at it a little angry.
he had a.
I was angry.
C-Mart told me before we went on, even pretty prejudiced. He was like, I'm not going to say a thing. And then
Because I didn't want to
think
be.
it's at,
I didn't
like,
want
the-
to be a number in his
Right.
like game.
Right.
So at like
I
the
see.
29-minute mark, all of a sudden, C-Mart's like, okay, let me ask you this.
What's at the edge?
Yeah,
What's
like
at the
he-
edge?
He was just like, and then he's like, perhaps, I guess. Like, some shit like that.
Perhaps.
I got
Perhaps,
bothered.
Yeah.
You got triggered, major triggered. He's like, okay, but if you say this, but like, what, it's whatever. But like, here's the thing. I think the whole reason we had him on even was to give an equal platform because at that
course.
time, to be honest with you, at that time, I didn't even really. It doesn't really matter what the fuck if it was flat Earth or if we were talking about like. Republican, Democratic, or like liberal, conservative. It doesn't fucking matter. Like what I really wanted to do was kind of just have an exercise in critical thinking because like
yes.
so many people were immediately like, "Fuck this! Well, how could you even? How did you not punch this guy or some shit?" I'm like,
Yeah.
well, first of all, violence.
Yeah,
in the
exactly.
face of a conflicting opinion is.
You are
not-
allowed to punch Nazis, though. I think.
See, that was another thing too. It's like I don't think violence, even towards Nazis, is the right move unless
it's not
you're
the right-
already provoked.
Right.
Because the slippery slope is that people are just going to be wildly accusing people of being
Yeah, I
Nazis. Like if
I
we're in
know.
this room and you two are accused of being Nazis, and I'm standing here and a mob forms and they're like,
Ah,
punch a
wow.
Nazi, and I'm like, whoa, these guys are not Nazis. They're like, are you a Nazi? What the fuck? I'm
Yeah.
like, dude, what the like that? It's just
Mob
very
mentality
slippery
is
slope.
dangerous, yeah.
It's very So I don't like the idea of that. It's a weird
Yeah.
fallacy that
Joking.
people put out there. No, you sounded fucking serious when you said
Well, no, I agree. Yeah, because I mean, I think to physically assault is just not cool
just-
generally.
it's
Even
the
if it's
wrong
like
way.
like I didn't lose sleep over that happening, but
Yeah.
at the same time, it's like, but then other people be like, oh, well, you better pre-punch people because they might punch you if they found out you were in
Pre-punch.
the pre-punch.
How did you know the name of my next album? Pre-punch people.
You know what? You can have it.
That's fucking good. Shout out to Quasey
Triple
Thomas.
P.
Yeah. Yo,
Pre-punch.
yo, you can
It's called
pre-order
the
the
three
pre-punch.
punch.
Oh
Three
my
punch.
God.
Pre-order the pre-punch 3-punch album. The 3-punch edition.
I want to thank you on that, just as a heads
Yeah,
up.
that's
You
okay.
should totally use that.
Yeah, the pre-order the pre-punch
yeah.
album.
No,
Shout
you
out to Quasey
three
Thomas.
order.
Three-order the pre-punch whatever. the fuck. Fuck this. It's going down.
Oh my God! Yes. Whoops.
So I feel like we should talk about some Deep Space Nine art
Sure.
that
Actually,
you mentioned.
So recently, Barez and I were chatting because he was putting up a series of DS9 portraits, and one of my
That's right.
favorite characters in Star Trek.
That's
By
Deep Space Nine.
what?
Did you say Deep Space Nine?
Yes.
Oh, sorry.
Did I say
Oh.
DS? I said DS9. Didn't I? Not?
I'm just saying Deep Space Nine.
I think so.
In case we just said DS9 and someone doesn't know what that is.
That's right. No, very good, very good.
Yes.
I do take a lot of liberty with Starfleet knowledge, and so I apologize for
What?
that.
Starfleet.
Star Trek
Yeah.
Deep
Sorry.
Space Nine.
And guys, I've had sex. It's okay. I admit it's fine.
Yeah. Pretty much you're safe after that. It's okay, guys. I'm
Taking
clear.
one for the team,
Yeah.
guys. The reality is, though, one of my favorite characters in that universe is Gul Dukat. I think he's
Yes.
like, we were talking earlier about
Who's that?
shitty villains with no logic and just like, I have a mustache.
Yeah.
It's like, that's awful. Gul Dukat is the exact opposite of that. I found myself watching this run of my last time watching DS9. I found myself watching and actually sympathizing way more with him than I ever did before. In fact, before I used to really just fall into that antagonist-protagonist kind of
Yeah.
dynamic.
What's the
and-
scope of that character?
So, C-Mart,
Loosely,
for
loosely.
C-Mart and
Just
for
loosely.
people at home, basically he is the former commander of Deep Space Nine when it was known in the Cardassian Empire as Terok Nor. And so the premise of Deep Space Nine being that at the end of Next Generation, this is not a spoiler. This is just like how the events of the world, that universe work out. But basically, there's
20 years to catch up. Everyone.
Yeah, there's a treaty signed at the end, near the end of Next Generation, which allows certain planets to be rezoned. Rezoned and reintegrated. So some of the planets now fall on the Cardassian border, and they were previously Federation, and some of the Federation planets now fall on the.
Interesting.
Did I say the same?
Yeah, you got it.
So in that crossover, the Federation planets rebel obviously against their new Cardassian designation, and they become what is called the Maquis. And the Maquis are a rebel organization that becomes very key in the Voyager timeline. So
I was gonna say, is that the? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So so without giving any more of that away,
yeah.
But then, so what happens is Deep Space Nine starts with the idea that Gul Dukat has just had to recently, eat crow and like leave this mining station, which was orbiting the planet of Bajor, and Bajor is like basically an analogy for the Jewish-Palestinian conflict.
That's right.
Yeah, and like in some regards, it's almost it's weird because it mirrors that. It mirrors the Israeli state issue of the last like 50 years in terms of conflict with people, and then it also mirrors the German occupation of the Jewish people. So it's layered in many ways because the Cardassians were oppressing the Bajoran people, and so you basically have, for all accounts and purposes, like not Hitler, but like
Space Hitler.
He's a space fascist.
Space
fascist.
Yeah,
fair enough.
And he's been banging Bajoran broads and stuff like that, and like slaves. Like it's just he's an awful guy. And you watch this and you're like, how could you ever fucking like this guy? But as the series unfolds, they definitely do an amazing job of showing like purpose and like idea, and so like not co-signing any of these awful atrocities fictionally as they are, but like if you look at it in a way that hey, depth, character scope, a lot of shows can learn a lot from the way that those shows were written, like these long form. It was the first, I think, if I might be wrong about this, but I think Deep Space Nine was the first Star Trek that actually encompassed long plot arcs. Because most of them were like in the can,
or like 3 or 4 episodes long at most.
So like Star Trek Next Generation, it's like they're gonna wrap it up with a nice feel good moment.
There might be a couple that tie in.
That's right.
Across the season.
But if there's a love interest, they might push it a couple episodes across.
There's never like a big event. It's like if you watch the second or like 5th season, it's just like it's an event for that.
That's right. Yeah.
Whereas this part is like, I can tell by like where they're located. It's in this situation for like a season.
You could tell where they like bumped a bunch of money into like promotion. They're like, oh yeah, this is like the big episode 9, like that kind of thing.
Yeah, and it's like this is the bottle episode.
Yeah, exactly.
Everyone just talked to each other for.
You're like, hold on, is that Jason Alexander?
Yeah, I remember that one.
You're like,
oh my
what
God,
the fuck? You're like George Costanza's on the. You're like, oh yeah, that was a good episode. That was good. So that's what I'm trying to say is like. Gul Dukat is like such a great character, and you drew him so fucking well.
Oh, the pencil one. Yeah.
That was really well done.
Thank you. Yeah, that one I was really feeling it because I was looking at the other ones and I kind of want to redo them because capturing likeness can be a bit hit or miss. Like I feel like the Major Kira and the Chief O'Brien probably did the best.
Right.
The rest of them, I felt like they kind of. And I had like a huge crush on Dax, and I could never capture her face, and it was like I got to redo that one.
Let's talk about this for a sec.
Sure.
This last run I watched, I was just mentioning. I finally got it with Dax. I never thought she was hot ever.
Really?
No, I never.
My God, yeah.
I was always like a Major Kira guy. I was like, oh
really?
Fuck, I always had a thing for Kira Nerys.
The second time around, actually, I had more of a Kira thing this time.
Oh, look at us switch up.
I know, it was weird.
Should we Eiffel Tower?
Yeah, let's.
All right, yeah, God. Right. That was gross.
But yeah, it was.
That was 80% gross.
It worked well. We made the sound.
That's right.
It was like
Space Bros.
Yeah.
Nice.
Felt we were like 30 years older doing it.
And it was off camera too. So
yes,
it
worked well.
50%.
But like, if you had a thing for Dax, was it the difficulty in capturing like maybe your true feelings for her? Is that what happened?
Maybe that's it. I was too attached, so it was like hard to get that. No, I think it was just trying to figure out like what features to enhance. Because something I found out is when I draw someone, I think if someone's maybe a little too good looking, it's kind of hard to add more. Like more of a caricature on them. So, for example, I was doing one recently for. Have you guys seen the second season of Masters of None, or do you watch it?
Hold on. Master of. I'm
With
thinking.
the Aziz Ansari one.
Oh shit! Sorry, I have some opinions on that guy, but I'll let you.
Okay,
I'll let you go.
yeah.
No, that's okay.
I recommend
I've
it's a
covered
good
them
show.
in many other episodes, so I don't have to get into it. It's
Okay,
fine.
fair
Go
enough.
ahead.
No, but yeah, so one of the characters in the second season, she's Italian. She's like gorgeous. I'm like, oh my god, I gotta draw her. But I think her face is so attractive and so average because they say, like, for example, there's a science that people that are considered the most attractive actually have the most average features. And it's like where they're laid out on their face.
You
There's
mean
usually a
like
proportion.
symmetrically?
Not necessarily symmetrically, but where they're laid out on like people's faces.
Okay.
So eventually, for example, if you, I don't know if you guys have seen those. There's a collection where they take a bunch of faces of, let's say, a bunch of women from one country, and then they just superimpose them over each other, so it makes like a unified face.
This is should we look this up right now? Can we look this up on the?
I think so. Yeah, I'm trying to think of.
Okay,
like,
what would it be?
What?
Yeah, tell C-Mart to look it up, and we'll look
Yeah.
that up.
It's
I want to see this.
Oh yeah,
Like,
for
what the
sure.
fuck?
So it'd
Yeah.
be like, God, I gotta
This
think
should
of
be
the
interesting.
word.
How do you look up women on the internet without?
Yeah, I know.
coming
It's
up?
like, and some alerts might go on. So, for example, it's women's faces collection country. It was like a whole article. It was
That's the
popular like a
most,
few years ago.
The most vanilla Disney way to say. You're like,
Yeah. Okay. There we go.
If
Perfect.
you just put like a bunch of women's faces, I doubt.
Yeah. So they have one where it's like it'll actually highlight
Right.
which countries
So-
people are from. This is the one.
Is the camera on right now?
No.
Let's scroll this real quick.
But do we want to? Is there a video or is it?
No, it's not a video. It's
No,
actually
scroll,
just the images.
Scroll these images right here. Yeah, just come. So we'll throw this on real quick.
Yeah. So basically, what it is it's taken a bunch of faces from one country, and then they've just superimposed them all together. And what happens is when you merge two faces together, they get more averaged.
So what do we have here? China and Korea and Japan. I'm trying to. This we have
Yeah.
a lot of audio only listeners, so I just want to.
Oh, of course, yeah.
So
and then Mongolia, Ukraine,
Sweden, Poland, and Russia. Now those are so are all these four put together.
So what it is
This is
each-
on the dailymail.co.uk for people that are want to
highly recommend to check it out. But basically, it's just taking a bunch of faces of
Go
I
back
guess,
to
a bunch
that,
of different people and just merge them all together.
So these women all look really the same, but that's because they've all been merged between these four types. So hold on. So Serbia, Czech Republic, Hungary, and Romania. Now, I don't want to be like, I don't know, rude, but in my head, that kind of mashes together in my head anyway as a type.
The type. Oh.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm like, oh yeah, like when you say to someone, it's not insulting, but you're like, oh, they have an Eastern European look.
Yes.
That's
exactly.
that's like a pretty common phrase.
I wouldn't consider it offensive
If
because it's
you
like
said someone looked of Asian descent, that's not racist. You're trying
Yeah.
to describe them.
I think it's accurate. So,
Right.
Yeah.
So to see these images all laid over, I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. That's
well, that's it. And so what it is that actually makes this. So have you guys ever seen like those face merges between celebrities?
Mm-hmm.
Which
So-
one?
They're trying to like match you to.
There's that too, but then there's
okay.
also like, let's say they do a face morph of like two different celebrities together, and what'll happen is usually the in between face.
Show me.
So I think there's one for like, okay, so you'll like this one. So it's Star Trek face merge. And what they did is they did like Chris Pine and William Shatner, and
Oh,
then
shit.
like Benedict Cumberbatch and Ricardo Montalban. And basically,
That one would be
Yeah,
interesting.
but
Okay,
if you actually look at the people, the in-betweens usually tend to be the better looking between the two.
Is the camera on this one?
It is.
This is kind of a new function for us that we're able to do this. So
Yes. And the reason why is that it's actually averaged out the features. So if somebody's got a longer nose and somebody's got a shorter nose, then you get the in-between.
so
And
the
that's
one
golden
on
ratio
the
face.
left is, sorry, are these actually the one on the left here
Yeah.
is them merged together. So that's Shatner and Chris Pine put together.
Yes.
And the one on the right is Benedict Cumberbatch.
Or no.
Or sorry,
it's,
what's his name?
Leonard Nimoy and
The dude from Heroes.
yes.
The fuck's his name?
Quinto.
Person.
Zachary
Oh yeah,
Quinto,
Zachary Quinto. Now hold on. That's crazy. But I would say that the Leonard Nimoy brow is very dominant in that last one.
It is for sure.
Oh wow.
Walter Koenig.
Walter Koenig and
Yeah.
Anton Yelchin. Show me that. He almost kind of looks like Joe Pesci. Scroll back up there for a sec. Doesn't he look like a young Joe Pesci, like Raging Bull Joe Pesci?
A little bit.
A little bit, eh?
I can see the elements of it.
A little bit. Sorry. Okay, keep going. What's the next one? Oh,
So,
George Takei and John Cho.
Do you not think that, like, I'm sure
I
these
mean-
line up, but can you not, like, if one face was a little more, like,
Yeah, this does seem kind of
like
like
transparency layered over the other one, it might dominate?
like
I don't understand the exact merging here.
Yeah, like the rudimentary Photoshop skills.
Oh yeah, so basically what it is like, yeah, you can superimpose, but this is actually merging it, so it's aligning the features. as an image.
Okay. I see what you're saying.
So
That's why
it's
it's so
actually like a
clear.
50-50.
That's why it's so
Right
clear.
there.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
So this one though, that's pretty spectacular. I have to say that Chris Pine really does look like William Shatner with this merging.
Yeah,
like, that's
and
really
vice
cool.
versa, because
Yeah.
it's like a 50-50 of it.
All right, that's good. That's cool. The Carl Urban one's fucking crazy. That's really good.
I like
Yeah,
Keith
Alice
Urban. I
Even,
wish Keith
whatever,
Urban
yeah.
was in Star Trek.
Keith Urban.
Keith Urban, not
Flying
Carl Urban.
Yeah, Be interesting.
He's a
But I
good
mean,
singer.
like,
A very interesting casting
Yeah.
choice.
yeah. So that's basically it. Is that it's considered the most average features proportionately on one's face that'll make someone by default be considered good looking. So it's usually what most soap operas have.
Fair
So
enough.
a lot of their cast, like they're generically good looking, but they're they're a template.
Yeah.
But then
yeah.
it's usually people that stand out a bit more if they have like a slightly stronger feature somewhere. They're more distinguished,
Like
and
a
they might create a trend.
like a Suzanne Lucci from All My Children. She's like the most famous like
Oh,
soap
I probably
opera
don't know
star.
her, but yeah.
You ever heard someone accept an award and be like, "You love me, you really love me"?
Oh, that's-
that she actually did that. She was like nominated like 30 fucking times or something like that, and she
Oh, okay.
finally won. And she was like everyone's sweetheart, basically. Like,
Right,
yeah, yeah.
okay.
Ah, that's what a reference. Did you get Gray from that one?
Oh, we all
Yeah,
got
exactly.
it. We all got it.
Sorry, I didn't watch soap operas, let alone. back
I
then.
was in kindergarten, and I was in the afternoon kindergarten. So every day I would watch soap operas with either my mother or my grandmother.
Right.
At lunchtime, right before the bus came, and I'd never see the ending, but I'd always watch the beginning.
Okay.
And so I learned like a lot of, I don't know. I don't know. I like the acting, I guess, is what I'm trying
Like
to say.
the acting. How could you with my twin?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
How are you back from the dead?
Dude, there's always a plane crash.
Yes.
That's another weird thing. Do you think soap operas will survive after TV is like TV markets are already dying out? Do you think that soap operas will survive?
I wonder about that because I mean they follow an interesting template where they film them like pretty suddenly within the day.
Not only do they film them, like the filming schedule of a soap opera is like
Seems
pretty-
aggressive.
Pretty aggressive. And not only
Yeah.
are you working like basically from fumes,
How
like there's
far
nothing in the
advanced?
tank.
How far advanced and did they go?
I would think that maybe
Couple episodes?
maybe one or two in the can, which is
I don't know
crazy.
enough. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Which is crazy because you read about like South Park doing it in 6 days, and you're like, that's
Yeah.
animated. That's
They
that's a tough
put it to the
gig.
wire. Yeah.
Right, and it's
Yeah.
consistently good.
Yes.
Whereas like, I don't know, you can throw a plane crash in or a train wreck, whatever, whenever there's something crazy to happen in a soap opera if you run out of ideas or something like that. So like it's
But there's a lot of dialogue in all
weird.
those too. Like the writing alone is difficult.
it's very difficult. But
Yeah.
you have these like Barez was just saying, like these like template mannequins essentially.
Sure,
and you can
yeah.
make them do
Yeah.
anything. Like,
I don't know if we fully
and
covered.
they have to, like that's the strangest thing is like they have to, like
Yeah.
there's no
Because they're not gonna be like, oh, this person will have like a good personality.
Yeah. But how
Because
about
they
the-
all have generic kind of like, ooh.
like how about the fact that like I don't know how they work, but it seems like they work like probably 50-45 weeks a year. Like those are long seasons, right? Like because they just pump them out. There's
it
like
must be.
like Days of Our Lives or something like that.
Well,
It's
you
like
need some.
I
downtime.
really,
fucking
I've
day,
never
every
actually. I mean,
fucking
I've
day.
seen a few, but I didn't even know like how they're made at the
I
time.
just I would like to see the streaming model of Netflix. See how that would apply to it. Because you're doing it every day.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like so it's not quite live, but it's like it's almost as close to being invested into like a Broadway play as you
okay.
could. Because it's like it's happening the way they film it. It might be multi-camera, but it's still like
Well, it's like a reality show almost, right? Like,
Yeah, kind of
Yeah.
a bit of a sitcom effect too.
like very sanitized, like a 3-camera sitcom kind of thing. But
Yeah.
there's no laugh track and there's maybe a bit of scoring. That's
like
it.
the soft focus.
Yeah.
You know what's
soft
funny?
focus, yes.
Well, the funny part is like so. Sometimes with newer TVs, let's say you get a Blu-ray and you're watching it, and sometimes the frame rate's too high that it starts to look like a soap
Oh,
opera.
it's terrible.
Yeah, it looks really weird because you watch like as well.
Some people don't see it.
That's
Yeah.
the 60 frame effect. I remember reading reviews of The Hobbit when it came out, and people
Yes.
were very upset with The Hobbit. I remember thinking, how bad could it be? And then I remember watching it, and there was there's one portion where they're in the canoes or something. This might be in the second one, the Desolation of
The
Smaug.
Hobbits.
The canoes. Yeah, they're like with the river.
Right.
the
And I
billows.
remember watching that in the theater, thinking like, this is kind of
Yeah.
it feels too Coronation Street, like too BBC.
Well, that's
If
the thing
makes
is that
sense,
like
yeah.
the human eye has motion blur, so you need to have it in film, otherwise it's kind of wasted.
Mm-hmm.
Because like if you move your hand quickly across your face, it's a blur. You're not gonna see. Oh, I see every finger.
Well,
I guess.
that's not. It's more the intention, right? Like
Are you disagreeing with our guest?
No, what I
Actual
mean is-
noted.
No,
it.
no. What I
digital
mean is that
artist?
like when you render it in real time, that's why video games, when you up the frame rate, they look
Yeah.
better.
That's
Do you like-
right.
Do you like
Right.
how you brought
Whereas
up video
if-
games?
No,
So
but
he's
I'm,
like-
you
No,
know
it
what I'm
does make
saying.
sense, yeah.
But if you're watching something that was intended to be 22 frames,
That's right.
and you suddenly interject that additional, like, what is it, 30 too many,
Something like
30,
that. Yeah,
42,
60,
whatever frames,
yeah.
yeah. Like it starts to it starts to look too smooth.
Yes.
And the blending was intended.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But with video games, it's nice
Well, and
when
it's
you
also
because
something
you
you're
want to see
controlling,
it
too.
exactly, yeah.
That makes
So it's
all the difference.
it's weird that it works in static media. I don't know how you would frame that, or like
Yeah.
not. It's more pre-rendered versus real-time rendering.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
that's a designation.
Because you're not gonna play a game like
Pre-rendered.
this looks like a soap opera right now. I'm turning it off. Like,
Yeah,
You know, if
exactly.
it does, it'd be like cool.
Yeah,
it
because
looks
live
alive.
television, if live television, like in the news,
Yeah.
look like that, it'd be fine.
Yeah,
The next step, though, everyone's gonna be wearing Oculus Rifts
pretty much.
or
Yeah.
Vives
No,
or Vives
it'll
or whatever
be
the fuck.
augmented
How
reality.
do you say that? You say it as a Vive or
Vive.
It'll be augmented reality.
Augmented.
AR is way more
What the fuck?
important than
Augmented
VR.
reality.
That's like the HoloLens.
Oh,
Microsoft HoloLens.
Oh, like
Yes.
Yeah.
That's right.
Where you can see, like, basically, I think that like the future of board games will be defined by this.
the
Like, if you can
HoloLens.
just play Warhammer, or you
Right.
can play even Magic the Gathering, or any kind of board game pandemic, if you could look at the board, you wear some glasses and you can see stuff happening on there
Yeah.
from
I can see
bases or
that.
from the thing.
Yeah.
And like that's way like that's where 3D chess exists.
Oh, so
Right?
it will
Yeah.
be like that game
Or
they play
whatever.
on the Millennium Falcon.
Yeah, exactly. That's
So like
exactly.
Yeah, a
What?
Wookiee will tear your arms off, kid.
Yeah, like
that
that's possible with augmented reality.
Hold on, Brez, you look confused.
I am.
Let me
What
let
are
me
you talking about?
let me say this reference. Like the game that C-3PO and Chewbacca play on the Millennium Falcon.
Oh, with the like little pieces. Yes.
And
It's like
Han's
the
like-
tiered chess.
Yes.
And Chewie does that arms behind the head thing where he's just like, like
Yeah.
he's gonna fucking rip your arm off kind of thing. That was a pretty good Chewie. That was awesome.
Thanks. That's the only thing. I can't do the rolling.
That was like a 6, but yeah.
That's sick.
6.
Perez
It was a 6.
buried him. Just burying him. He's like, that's a 6.
It was a 6. No.
He's like, let me finish.
I know my limit.
Out of 7. Out of 7. Okay.
Yeah.
Let me
Thanks.
finish. Let me
6
finish.
out of 6.
passes. It's fine.
That's fucking good. You know what? I think despite the fact we didn't have an episode last week, I think we're running a bit late here. I'm gonna have to wrap this up.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That's how awesome this show is when it runs so
Yeah,
quick.
it's like quick.
You know how fast that felt?
Yeah.
That was good.
I
And I
learned
feel
things.
like, you know what I feel like is we didn't even really touch on.
I don't even know what kind of artist.
I know what.
I didn't even touch on it.
He's this kind of
Oh,
artist,
that's
first
tough.
of all, starting.
Yeah.
He's this time.
I do
Right
lunchtime
now.
sketches of things.
I like that shit. You do lots of different types of art, but I introduced you as a digital artist.
Yeah.
But
I've done 3D animation before. A project I'm working on now, which is kind of nerdy but also fun, is I've rigged a Xbox Kinect camera to be a 3D scanner. So I've been kind of experimenting with that.
That's fun.
Yeah, it's really neat.
what
Weird.
prompted you to do that?
I was just kind of curious because, so I was like working in 3D Max or Maya and like modeling characters, but I
Okay.
thought if you can actually scan somebody, then you get like a better reference.
Okay.
So,
Is this proprietary? Should you be even talking about this right now?
it's
Those are
you can-
publicly available
I got
software
software to
tools.
do it, so it's
I'm
more
just
like
saying,
setting
like
it up.
your
yeah.
idea though, like your.
Oh yeah, no, that was kind of I'm more experimenting with it. I don't know what I'll do with it yet, but you can make like action figures.
He's taking on the internet, folks.
yeah,
He's
taking it on. You know my nickname and my side hobbies.
And you know, 6 of the 11 digits or 10 digits you need to call him. 778
that's right.
404.
It's not even a 778.
No, it's not.
I'm
No.
old school.
Nah, that's right. It's a big lie. Oh, look. Oh, he's original. Is what he's
604,
trying to say.
Right,
motherfucker.
604 112.
Yeah. What would it be back in Kenora?
Kenora, it's only 7 digits in Kenora.
I believe that.
Oh.
When I moved out here, I was so fucking shocked that I had to learn an additional.
It's funny that when
3.
you came here, because when I grew up, it actually was 7 digits, and only when I got a bit older, we moved to the
It
10s.
switched over, yeah.
Really?
I used to
10.
work at Panago, and then they did the switch, so it was like the 310 001, and it was like, no, you got to do 604, and people had like trouble for like
Yeah,
a
yeah, yeah.
year. Like,
Really?
Where do I call? It's like try one. If it doesn't work, try the other.
Yeah, it was all 548. Back home.
548? Oh, yeah.
And like, if you were in the city, that like the city,
Ooh,
quote unquote, it was
what?
468.
Ooh, the city.
Shit,
Yeah,
motherfucker.
Nice.
And if you lived in Norman, it was 543.
No one lived in Norman. No one lived in Norman.
Dude, no one lived. If you live where I live, which is actually the township of Jaffrey Mellick,
Ah.
which is just a little thing. Like,
Is that a hockey player?
It's like 20 seconds from Kenora. Yeah.
Okay.
Kenora is actually the amalgamation of like all these different places. It used to be called Rat Portage, which
It's
is
like a
the
union.
Raw. Yeah, seriously, it used to be called Rat Portage, and that's where the raw comes in, Kenora.
Oh.
And then
okay.
the key, the
Oh.
KE comes from Keewatin, which is another little town, just like it's part of Kenora, like it's literally connected by a bridge. And then the Nor is Norman. When you're like, no one lives in Nor, I'm like, it's literally the middle part of the.
Interesting.
Like,
It's got the most letters.
Kenora.
Yeah. It's
That's
got-
really cool. Well, I like
Yeah.
that kind of hybrid name.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I don't know if people know that, but it's like that's.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I
at all.
guarantee you,
Wiki the
everyone in Kenora is like, yes, everyone knows that. I'm like, yeah, but I'm on the West Coast. I have to usually point
I
it out
feel like
on
if
a
you're
map.
from Kenora and you know that, good for you. No one is gonna begrudge MD describing this deep knowledge of Kenora's name etymology here.
The ever progressive city of Kenora.
Right.
So the amazing time. I think it's pretty cool you have these projects in the go, and I would fucking love you to come back on the show real
Yeah.
quick. Would you come chat? And this is how
I
awesome,
really enjoy this.
This
It was
is how
fun.
much I love chatting with you, and I think the C-Mart and I get along with you so well. How much I love chatting with you is I think you should come on quick, like within the next few weeks again. We'll chat and we'll actually,
Post
Dive
Canada,
in.
I'm pretty free.
Post
so,
Canada Day.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see what's up. I'm gonna be out of town for a bit, and
Okay.
then but I'll
Ominous.
ominous
be
as
out of-
fuck. That's what people say
You're
when
gonna
they're
go sell
about to go.
weapons in North Africa.
Yeah,
somewhere.
that's what people say when they're about to go do like time. They're
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I'm gonna be out of town for
Be
a
out of
bit.
town.
You're like,
I'm studying abroad.
yeah. Where are you gonna be? Like for 6 to 8 weeks. I'm gonna be.
I'll
you're
be
like,
unreachable.
You're like, why 6 to 8 weeks? You're like,
Yeah.
it depends. Whatever the other guy, that my boss. You're like, you have a boss? He's a warden, but I want to talk.
He's
about
a
this.
warlord.
yeah, exactly. My friend Brez.
Yes.
If people are interested in following you,
Oh, yeah.
how can we do that?
Probably
we have
the
stuff to
easiest way.
plug. We have stuff to plug.
Oh, okay. Well, the cool thing is having a name like mine is that there's not a lot of people that have it.
Good name.
So you can go to my website, which probably has access to my Instagram, which is open. But go to barez.ca.
How do you spell that?
Oh, BAREZ.ca.
BAREZ.ca. I like it.
Yeah, pretty much if you Google my name, I'll show up in places.
No,
No criminal record. Yeah.
but he is going away for 6 to 8 weeks.
I'm going, yeah.
very soon. Yes.
You know, feeling a bit ambitious.
Yeah. I think that's amazing, and you're always welcome on the show.
Thank
This
you.
was a hell of a debut, my friend.
Yeah, this was fun. I really enjoyed this.
Very happy with this. People listening at home and watching on YouTube, if you're so interested, or if maybe you're on Facebook right now, if you're so interested in doing so, we love it if you leave us a review on iTunes or Stitcher or YouTube or wherever the fuck you want to do it. Just make sure you like and subscribe to us. If you like the content, you want to see more of it, just let us know. If you don't like it, let us know why. We just want to hear from you. Engagement is key. And I think if I really had to let you know, you can go to intergalacticinterviews.com. It's so easy. We are literally the only one. We are the Barez of Intergalactic Interviews. We're the only
A lot more
ones.
letters involved, so I'm not surprised.
Yes, it's a harder sell.
Okay.
But
But it's an easy word to remember.
That's right.
Yeah.
Intergalactic Interviews episode Suck My Dick.
That's pretty rude.
That's how it used to go.
That's pretty rude.
A bit vulgar.
That's a bit crude for
I don't
someone
think anyone likes that.
who's putting together some family-friendly content. You know what I'm trying to say? Yeah, but
You said that so like authentically.
Yeah.
Oh, family friendly.
ladies and gentlemen, we do appreciate you guys watching, though. And if I could be so bold, I'm not going to mention next week's guest because I want them to show up. And Barez, you're always welcome on the show anytime.
Thank you.
And all you guys at home, we love you very much. So thank you for watching, and we'll see you all next week. Oh shit!
Thank you for having me. Take care.